I expected a Doug to be a little bit nervous, but he doesn't seem to be nervous. He's not intimidated by our greatness.
right. He's I got this.
I've been listening to you guys for far too long to be shaken at this point.
It's far too long.
Far too long. That's the key phrase right there. Far too long. Doug, are you a bicyclist? You look like a bicyclist.
Hell no. I am the mortal enemy of bicyclists in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, right.
Since I work in Midtown, they're just always taking up the sidewalks and the roads, and they're just overall in my way usually, so definitely not a biker.
You don't want to be the enemy. Do you even know how to ride a bike?
I think I've rode a bike since I was about 13.
Oh, my God.
I don't think Randy's ever been on a bike, have you?
Oh, why are you casting aspersions this way? You look like a man that's never ridden a bike.
Oh, I will show you how to ride a bike.
Teach me how to ride a bike, sir.
I will show you a unicycle.
I've actually learned how to ride it. Well, okay. So I had a bike when I was a little kid, and like it broke or something. And
you broke it. You broke the bike.
Yeah, I don't know how it happened. And then I had to wait like a few years until I got another
Your
bike.
Your parents didn't trust you.
Yeah.
They're like, Randy's going to hurt himself.
So by the time I got another bike, I was
He's
a lot
not like the other kid.
I was a lot older, and then I had to learn how to ride it again, which proves that fucking phrase is completely false. Like, just like ride it. No, it's not.
You're an outlier for a lot of things, Randy.
I suppose that's true.
I want to hear about Midtown. Is that where everything happens in Atlanta?
It's one of several districts, and it's one of the main districts where the Uber has dropped off their stupid bicycles. So now, just like the scooters, the Bird, and I don't remember what the other one is, now you can use your phone and activate this bike and join the hellhole that is Atlanta traffic.
Is Star Bar in Midtown?
No, Star Bar's in East Atlanta, in Little 5 Points. That's the quasi-eclectic area of town.
Okay.
That's become a lot more gentrified, like everything else.
I hear Star Bar's the place to do comedy in Atlanta. So.
Oh man, Tommy aspires to be there
someday. Have you ever been to Star Bar, Doug?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of punk bands at places like Star Bar and the Earl, and I've gone to comedy shows at the Punchline and City Winery. They have a chain place in Atlanta, so a lot of good acts come through there.
Very cool.
Why don't you play with your fucking keys a little bit more?
Make some more noise.
Yeah, please. God damn.
Well, very cool. Yeah, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. Why don't you introduce our guest? I know you're recording. You're not slick.
How can you be sure?
You're not slick.
How can you be sure?
I could tell by the tone of your voice it changed.
Oh, my persona kicked in. Oh, shit.
Yeah, you actually had a personality, slightly.
That's the only time it happens, much to the dismay of all my dates.
You weren't bitching about your life as much.
Yeah, true. Damn. I don't think I've ever...
The red lights in his eyes came on.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever told this story before. This is a bicycle story.
Oh,
Tommy,
God.
Doug. One time I was over my aunt's house. This was the second time I learned how to ride a bike. I was in
17 years old.
No, sir. I was probably in 5th or 6th grade.
Okay. So 10, 11.
Young
12,
Randy.
maybe.
This is the early 90s. I had a mullet. Can you even believe it?
Yeah, I did too.
I had those old man glasses.
Okay.
Like me and my Grampy Jim went to the same eye doctor, and I swear to God we had the same exact glasses too.
Yeah. That'd be like your grandpa when you're 10,
Thick
right?
brown frames. It looked like I had bifocals. They were a little bit shaded.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nobody could see my eyes. I was a mystery. I mean, last week we talked about how Tommy, in his old home videos, had the body of a 45-year-old divorcee at the age of 8.
I was 11.
At the same age, I looked like I was a greasy competitive gambler with my glasses and my mullet
like Nick
and
Papa
my
Giorgio.
smarthy ways.
Yeah.
So I'm over my aunt and uncle's house. I'm out on a bike ride with my uncle, and I'm wobbling my way down the road. It's weird to take a bike ride with your uncle. Doug Goodwin says, yes, it is. Yeah.
Well, you might have that kind of relationship with yours.
Oh, yeah, I had a bike riding relationship.
Take you
with
way
mine,
back
sir.
into the woods to his favorite shack.
Well, why do you got to be weird now? I don't know how it works in your family, but we strictly stuck to bike rides, sir.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Tommy took it somewhere strange.
Yeah,
Well, that's just all Randy remembers of the bicycle ride.
No wonder I have a fondness for that uncle.
Yeah.
Huh?
Lay down on the couch. We'll talk about some stuff.
Okay. So I'm pumping my little legs like a determined little tugboat because my uncle, because the prince that he was, peeled away. You know, he's way far away.
Yeah.
And I'm unsteady the whole time, and I see this truck barreling down the road.
Uh-oh.
A truck, Tommy. You ever see a truck in your life?
I have, once or twice, yeah.
Oh, my God. Doug Goodwin, do you drive a truck?
I do not. I used to. Used to drive a Chevy Colorado.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
yeah.
dropping names here. Fancy boy.
Dropping brands.
Yeah.
Oh.
Chevy tough, yeah.
Ooh.
Felt like a rock.
Don't mess with this Doug here. So I see this truck barreling down the road at a terrific speed.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Okay.
You ever done anything at a terrific speed, Doug Goodwin?
I've driven many things at a terrific speed, including Daytona International Speedway, my friends.
Oh, wow.
My
Look
God,
at him.
that's fast.
Wow.
What are you, a race car driver?
No, just done the Richard Petty experience. If you've never done that, you should go. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I like Richard Petty. Free falling.
Wrong
No,
Petty.
that's his nephew, Tom.
Oh. So as the truck gets closer, I see two guys in the back of this truck.
In, like, the way back?
Yes, the truck bed, Tommy.
Like okay. There's no topper on it?
There's no topper. This is the early 90s.
This is wild.
This is just the most wild experience. And the passenger and the driver, you know, they're whooping and hollering outside the windows there.
Sure.
And I think, oh, no, they're going to call me a name or something.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. And they did. As they passed me, I swear to God, they called me a nerd.
They must have knew you.
They must have. Somehow, amongst all the hooting and hollering, I swear to God, they called me a nerd.
Yeah.
And then the other thing they did, I should mention this, they threw a tomato at me.
Oh, really? Are you making this up?
No, I wish I was. I'm not sure if any of you have ever had a tomato thrown at you from a truck barreling down the road at approximately 55 to 60 mph.
I've never had a tomato thrown at me.
And you're a comedian.
Yes. Well, it's because I'm funny.
Fozzie Bear on the Muppet Babies led me to believe that tomatoes got thrown at comedians all the time.
When they suck, yeah.
Oh, not this guy over
Tommy.
there.
Oh, no.
Not old sweatsuit over there.
What about
And was the driver carrying a tomato around or coming back from the grocery store? What the hell would you have a tomato for?
No, it was one of the boys in the back of the
I
truck.
think they were out doing it to more than just poor old Randy.
One of the street toughs in the truck bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, with
River
his,
Phoenix back there.
with his fucking O'Doyle rules in the back there.
Soda Pop and
Son of a...
Pony Boy.
Yeah. So this red projectile of hate, like I saw it in slow motion almost.
Like
It
Uncle Rico on Napoleon Dynamite.
absolutely. It hit me square in the shoulder, and I swear to God, they celebrated as if they just threw the game-winning touchdown pass.
How could you not?
How could you not? I almost fell off my bike, sir.
Oh, you held it up.
I held it up.
Wow, you didn't break this bike.
I had a little bit of self-esteem, not much, as tears welled in my eyes.
Really? You cried?
Like I said, I don't know if you've ever had a tomato thrown at you from
But
a
it stinks.
fast-moving vehicle at
Get you right
going
in the rotator cuff, did it?
55 to 60 miles per hour. It feels like a rock bouncing off your dumb arm. I
You
kept
hit you in the arm?
in my shoulder armish area, and I swear to God, I caught up to my uncle and I showed him my arm, and the entire thing was black and blue. I had the biggest bruise.
You nerd.
I was a nerd.
How long did you cry?
That shit hurts. I
Have
try
you
not
stopped?
to because I was with my cool uncle. You know,
Yeah.
we
Did he have a
experienced
mullet too?
so much. Yeah, I think he probably did, and a sweet ass Magnum PI mustache.
Yeah.
What?
You got a tattoo?
Oh,
The
no
Tasmanian
tats.
devil or something?
No, I wish that would have amped him up in the respect points
Sure.
area there.
Yeah.
Did he drive a Trans Am?
Oh, there you go.
No, he no. Never
Was it
did.
a BMX bike?
He did have a Camaro though. However,
Oh, nice.
T-top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
T-top.
That's right in the same. Yeah, it's in the same field.
I'm picturing Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
I'm picturing Todd from Beavis and Butthead.
You're both completely off.
It wasn't that cool, huh?
No, well, he did use.
What was his name?
Stop.
Come on.
Stop.
Oh.
Quit peeking in my life,
name.
sir. Yeah, his Uncle Stop.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Tommy made his second Outsiders reference in 2 podcasts.
All right. Derry.
He's keeping track.
Derry.
Oh, my God. But I swear to God, if it would have hit me in the face, it probably would have broken my nose and knocked me out, maybe.
Sure.
I mean, my glasses were so thick, though, it was kind of like wearing riot gear, but maybe it would have bounced off. I don't know.
Should have been wearing your shield, nerd.
I probably should have. But if it would have hit me in the head and I fell off my bike, oh, my God. What if I slipped into a coma?
The murder of 1994.
All those kids would have been so upset with themselves.
No, they probably would have celebrated.
They probably would. What if I slipped into a coma because somebody threw a tomato at me and I lived as a vegetable for the rest of my life?
A vegetable from a vegetable.
Or a fruit.
Oh. No, it's a vegetable.
Drop that beat, D-boy.
Put it in. We're drinking summer shandy on Thursday. We so motherfucking out here, though. We never been this out here.
So strange when it's changing the speed.
What you know about Leonard Skinner? Whacker the intro, the hotter the verse every time, baby.
I've seen the hard times and the pressures been on me.
Well, I've been working like a working man do. Got my act together, gonna walk all over you. Pressure pushing down on me, pushing down on you. Shit, let's raise the roof. Woo! About time, it's the era of the rebels. Cloud 9 in the air up in the vessels. Generation fearless, got a taste for weirdness. Flow on fire, that's the way my beard is. Hard times, jump starting the grind. It's all good, y'all. Things fall apart sometimes. Let it go, let me know when you're ready, though. Don't push me, cuz until the edge I'm close. When the time comes, ride for something. Or live to be 90 and then just die for nothing. Speak their heart, your baby, speak their mind. And I'ma play their part, and I'ma freak that rhyme one time for you. Rhyme one time for you. I'm an island, man. There ain't nothing else by me, man. And I drink enough whiskey to float a battleship around this bitch any motherfucking how. Wow.
Welcome to the Miserable Retail Slave Show. We're coming to you from the Pod Shack outside beautiful Flint, Michigan, USA. My name is Randy. I'm the hero of this story. And that's Playboy Tommy Thompson over
Playboy.
there. Yeah, I decided your new nickname is Playboy. You like that?
Okay.
People only want to read the articles. They don't want to see those nudes. That's for goddamn sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, can you even believe this day we're having? With us today, a very exciting thing is happening. Oh, my God. Just the best boy you'd ever want to meet. He was one of our very first listeners, like about 7 years ago, and he's still stuck with us, believe it or not. I don't know why. He also is the man responsible for redesigning our awesome logo to look like the perfect brand of awesome it currently is. Ladies and gentlemen, get so excited that you might wee-wee yourself. It's the Southern Gentleman, Armchair Producer Doug Goodwin.
Hello.
Oh, listen
What's
to those
up, everybody?
sexy golden
Sounds like
tones.
he should be the Playboy.
Holy shit.
Golden
Oh,
tones.
man. He's like, oh.
International Playboy Doug Goodwin.
Oh, there we go. International.
He's just giving himself nicknames now. He's,
I like it.
All his fame's going straight to his
I'll
head.
call him Midtown.
Oh, well, Midtown. Midtown Doug.
Midtown Doug.
I was just remarking to my...
I was just remarking.
I was just remarking.
I don't
to my-
think I've ever heard that phrase before.
Which one of us is from the South again?
Yeah.
I was just remarking to my
reckon?
my doughboy over there that you don't have the southern drawl that I expected you to have, and that's kind of a bummer.
Oh, well, I can turn it on in a heartbeat if you really want me to, you know.
There you go.
But that'd be fake. That wouldn't sound good. I'd be sounding like this.
Are you from Atlanta originally?
Yeah, I'm from Georgia natively, but since I work in communications, I've tried to shave off the accent over the years.
Okay, so you used to have it.
Yeah, I grew up with it, and I'm still hooked into Southern culture, and I can turn it on in a heartbeat.
Oh, look at that.
In a heartbeat.
The many faces of Doug Goodwin.
You remember when we had that Cassie on from Mixed Feelings, and she had that drawl all over the place, and that's what I was expecting.
Where's she from?
She was from Kentucky.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're a little more...
I mean, she still is from Kentucky. She's still with us. She's not passed from this plane.
I think Kentucky is the most notorious for the draw. Louisiana.
Well, plenty of people down here have that drawl. Our new governor got inaugurated this week, and he sounds like this. He talks real slow.
That's what I expected him to talk like.
Doug, you really disappointed the boy.
I mean,
what a fucking letdown, man.
There it is.
Oh my God, he just swore on our podcast. This is rated G, sir. How dare you?
Yeah, remember he's been listening for 7 fucking years.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've known this Doug for about 7 years now, and I just talked to him for the first time about a half hour ago. How crazy is that?
The ways of the world nowadays.
Do you feel it kind of odd that you've listened to this dumb show for so long, and now you're talking to us? Is that a little bit weird for you?
It's slightly strange, but in a way that I feel like I've been party to a lot of conversations.
So that's true.
I feel like I'm just joining in on something that has already been familiar.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun.
I like
cool.
that.
Yeah, perfect answer, Doug.
Yeah, perfect. Because I know when we've had guests on that I've listened to their podcast, I'm like, well, this is kind of weird for me a little bit because I've listened to what they do. Like when Juliet Miranda and David, the producer, were on, I was like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, like surreal for you.
Oh, so surreal. I was so starstruck.
Yeah.
Especially with that David's fucking baritone voice. Oh. I'd come
He's
all
got that
day
professional announcer voice.
He certainly does. He's the one that, well, I shouldn't say that. He should be the one doing the podcast. Juliet will kill me, but
yeah.
Listen to
You're all nervous now.
I am. Listen to the Writable Rant with Juliet Miranda. They're going to have Anthony Cumia on again this Sunday.
Okay.
Your homie
Dave's homie, yeah.
Dave's homie, yeah.
Yeah, my homie Dave's homie, Anthony.
Yeah. Did you know that, Doug? That
I did not.
That Tommy's best friend, Dave Landau, his friend and mentor,
Dave's going to get mad.
His friend and mentor is on the Anthony Cumia show. Did you know that?
It's been mentioned a few times.
It has been mentioned.
Look at it. Randy's quizzing you.
I am. I was testing his knowledge. Oh, my God. He's very quick on this. I like that.
You can't hold me to account for nearly 7 years of this.
I don't even remember what we talked about in the past 7 years.
Oh, my God. I don't even remember last week most of the time. You guys know that.
Doug Goodwin is on the Instagram, believe it or not, at Pretentious Vinyl.
Oh, I like that. That's a good name.
Tommy is all about that vinyl.
I do like the vinyl.
He's got a whole stack of vinyl. He never plays it.
I play it.
Do you know?
Yeah.
What's your favorite vinyl, Doug, right now?
I've got off the top of my head, The Cult, Love. Oh my God, nobody cares about this. My top 5 favorite vinyl. That's what I post to Instagram. Whatever I'm listening to.
I got an Instagram, but I've never used it. I think I opened it once. I wouldn't be able to. You could tell me to post something with a gun to my head, and I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, I've started to use the Instagram more in the past week or so because I don't know. I feel like I need to promote the podcast again.
It's just pictures, right?
It's just pictures,
but you can caption them, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tell a whole tale if you so choose.
But you have to do a picture.
Well, it's
okay.
Yeah.
It can't just be like a post. It's got to be a picture with the post.
You don't understand.
You can overlay sexy graphics like Randy does.
Yeah. Post some thirst traps, Tommy.
Oh.
Show off those titties.
Oh, gross.
You'll get all the followers. Show off that new bra you bought at Victoria's Secret. They'll love it.
Mm.
But I love this Doug Goodwin because he's listened to damn near 7 years.
That's way longer than I've.
I mean, he's not gotten any of his friends to listen, but he has listened for 7 years, and that's amazing to me.
Yeah,
because getting anyone to listen to anything is a fucking chore anymore.
That's true.
It's very true. Like, there's a ton of people out there in this country, in this world, that would enjoy this bullshit.
You think so?
I know so because usually people that listen, they're like, "Oh, I like this. Why haven't I listened to this before?"
Yet enjoyable.
But it's just a matter of reaching their precious little ears.
Sure.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you do it? It's having this podcast is kind of being like stuck in Shawshank Redemption. Right in the prison. I'm Andy Dufresne, and I'm just trying to dig my way out of this prison bit by bit to find new listeners. I'm chipping away day by day, year by year. Rita Hayworth to Raquel Welch, trying to find these new listeners to burst out on the other side and be like, "Hey, Joe Rogan, what's up? We're peers now." That's what I'm trying to do.
Sure.
It's not working well.
Well, we did get invited to that podcast festival or something.
We did get invited to a podcast convention, yes.
Yeah, convention. Okay.
Yes. And that got canceled, though. So.
Because we didn't go.
Well, we were the main event, obviously. I forgot about that. Thank you. We're a big deal.
Yes.
By the way, speaking of big deals, live stream for The Cure 3.0, May 17th. Miserable Retail Slave will be back live on live stream for The Cure, raising money for that cancer research.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But this show is all about Doug, because Doug is here.
Yeah.
Our armchair producer, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
And I fully endorse the live stream for The Cure. I listened last year and
certainly did.
donated.
Yeah,
He
we
did.
saw your name. Yeah, that's right.
$15. He sent me the email receipt, and I'm making good. He's here on the fucking show.
Oh, yeah,
right
we said
now.
anybody that would just it'd take a year, but we'll get
It took a year, yeah. I feel like last year was kind of a lost year. We kind of meandered back and forth. Yeah. That's why we have no listeners anymore.
Well, maybe the people were like, I'm not donating because I don't want to be put on that stupid show.
Well, that's highly possible, too.
Right.
Doug Goodwin, I have this question to ask you. As a man on this online dating bullshit, I have to ask you, because I follow you on Instagram. I follow your wife. You know where I'm going. How did you meet your wife, Doug Goodwin?
I met my wife at work while we weren't working together. I was leaving, and she was working at the night reception desk, and we started chatting. And then she got fired for
chatting with you because that's against HR rules.
You know, things happen.
Yeah.
So, works out nicely.
So you worked at the same place, and she worked at night. You worked during the day, so you saw her in the evening as you passed by?
Right. As I'm leaving, she's the new night desk chick. And,
night desk chick. She's going to appreciate that description because I know she's going to listen to this.
Absolutely. I'm making sure that she's fully offended by the time she listens.
Sure. So we just met and hit it off, and the rest of it is not very different than most other love stories, but lovely.
Cool. How long you been married?
10 years. We hit 10 left in 2018.
All right.
Oh my God! Look at
Good for
you!
you. How old are you, Doug?
I am 40, so I'm just a tick ahead of Randy.
Nah.
Oh, you're a few ticks, sir. How dare you, sir? How dare you? Don't even bring me into your decade there.
I was in high school while you were getting hit by tomatoes on bikes.
Yeah, that's accurate. I feel like you're leaving out a lot of details here, however. Like, how did you put the moves on the night desk chick? Like, how do you see the night desk chick? And you were like, oh, great, look at this. And...
Well, in this pre-smartphone era, I had this sexy orange Nokia phone, so I was probably going over, hey, baby, check out my black and white phone. Want to play Snake?
Did you have one of those ones that, like, and then you could walkie-talkie it?
God, no. Never had a Nokia.
Oh, God,
those things.
yeah.
No,
Those
it
are
was
so
called a
annoying.
Nextel. I can't remember.
Nextel.
Yeah.
I had one. It was the greatest.
I'm sure you did. You look like a Nextel boy.
Yeah, I was a Nextel boy. I was walking.
Hey, everybody, listen to me. I have friends. That's what I figured Nextel people were.
Yeah, that's what I was too. I'm like,
Listen, somebody's invited me somewhere.
Yeah, I'm relevant. Look at me.
I wanted to slap anybody with a Nextel who wasn't on a job site.
Yeah,
I dare
hate
you to
those
fucking
things.
slap me, Doug Goodwin. How dare you?
I was working at a grocery store at the time, and I was a cashier, and people would come through on their Nextels. So annoying.
So you were 30 years old when you met your wife.
Well, no, they've been married for 10 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
married 10 years.
How old were you when you met her?
I met her at interesting. This is where it's interesting. Is before we got married.
Oh.
We met and then we broke up after a couple of years, and that's where I dabbled in your specialty area of online dating in its proto era. So I spent a little bit of time in that hellhole, and
not to cut you off, Doug, but for 1 minute, you can tell Doug Goodwin has listened to the show for damn near 7 years because I was going to ask him, did you ever break up before you got married? I absolutely was. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, so during the time we were split up, I dabbled in those early pre-Facebook versions of Match.com, and that was a strange universe, and ended up running back into my wife at an Audio Slave concert, and so us getting back together is more interesting than how we got together in the first place.
Cool.
Oh, my God. What song was Audio Slave performing when you ran into her? Do you remember? You have to remember. He doesn't remember. God damn it.
I have no clue. I was probably several drinks deep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember what you thought when you saw her at the Audio Slave concert?
I mean, we talked. It wasn't awkward, so we ended up connecting back via email, and so the get back together part is more interesting.
How long was it in between breakup and meeting again?
It was nearly 3 years. So
Holy shit!
We split up for a good while, and really took a strong break. We didn't even talk.
It's like that Doug Goodwin's aging pretty well, is what you must have been thinking, huh?
Yeah, look at that Doug there.
Yeah.
I like the cut of his jib. He's got a well-carved jib.
He got rid of his accent. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's been on the hashtag 10-year look back or something like that.
Yeah.
That's been all over the place, and
In
I don't think I
honor
look
of
that
you
much
guys.
different.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember how I ran across you, Randy, on Twitter, and I was going to see if you remembered. Was it a Newsarama comic review?
Oh,
I think that might have been where I ran across you.
that's possible. So I think, I was thinking it was because of baseball Twitter, because I was on baseball Twitter back in the day. I was unemployed, and I ran across this group of Detroit Tigers fans, and I became friends with them. Never met them in real life, and never will. But that's how I started on Twitter. I was like, "Oh, this is great." But I was trying to think earlier how I met you too, and maybe it was a Newsarama thing.
Wait,
since you remember that?
You met you too?
Yes, me and Bono, besties.
You and
Yeah, see what you miss when you take your wife's phone call?
Yeah, god damn it.
like Randy.
Yeah. So you met your what? How old were you when you met your wife originally?
Oh, more boring stuff about me.
Yeah, that's right. You're
I was 24.
Oh wow. Okay.
oh my god, 24. I love these stories though, because
Yeah.
Nick from the Epic Film Guys, he met his wife on the online dating sites and pursued her for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh no!" And then finally, she was like, "Okay."
Just stalked her.
Yeah, obviously, because you ever seen that Nick? He's a creep. Oh God,
I don't know how else you do it online. You have to, right?
it's the worst thing. It's the fucking worst thing.
Oh, it worked out for Nick.
And it worked out for Doug.
Well, he didn't meet her online.
I would be so terrible
That's true.
at Tinder. God.
Oh, I wouldn't even. Yeah,
Tinder's
I
the
wouldn't know
worst
what to
thing. Tell me about your awful online dating. Did you ever? Well, I don't want to be rude, but did you ever have a date from online dating?
Oh, God, yeah. But it was, what are you saying, man? I'm an attractive international playboy. We've already gone over this.
do. Yeah, some people actually get dates on there, Randy.
Yeah, well, when I was
Fuck
on it,
you.
it was before Facebook. So the way that it worked ended up being a lot more like what Facebook first became.
Mm-hmm.
So they asked you a shit ton of questions, the same kind of stupid questionnaires that you would take. And then they listed a bunch of people who matched up somehow with their algorithm. but it was odd. You had to do chats, and then you had to pay so much in, and then you could exchange phone numbers because there was no other way to do it. So everything was IM based and email based. So, way before a lot of the modern stuff. So there's no way in hell I would be comfortable with it now.
I mean, it's
and especially after hearing all your stories with Red and
oh yeah, Red. That's a deep cut.
Yeah,
she's married in matrimony now.
Ruby,
fuck.
Ruby's.
Don't bring up rubies. How dare you?
See, I'm dropping old school.
Yeah, Red is pretty old school. That is old school.
Dropping bricks on Randy's heart.
Yeah, that's right. Since you brought up online dating, Doug. See how that works?
Yeah.
I was at the retail paradise that gainfully employs me the other day, and I get this message from this woman.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, oh, great, look at this.
Another restraining order.
Oh, this has got to be the one. Right there, just residing in my inbox. Sure. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I click on the message, and it was sent like 45 minutes previous to that.
Okay.
Because I'm a busy guy.
Yeah, you can't be.
I'm the dude that makes shit happen at that retail paradise.
You can't be right on it. You got melons to pack away.
I got melons, lettuce to sling. Fuck. You know? So I checked this
produce king.
Yeah.
Excuse me? The way you said that, I would appreciate that tone whatsoever.
Well, you asked me to turn on the Southern accent.
Why don't you turn on the Southern shut the fuck up?
Oh, whoa, Randy. Your whiskey's showing.
Oh, my God. His face got real serious.
You don't like to be talked like that.
He's going to challenge me to a duel like Southern gentlemen do.
Midtown Midtown Doug. I'm not fucking around.
Tommy's hopped up on Diet Mountain Dew.
I am. I'm pretty caffeinated, too.
Calling our precious Doug Goodwin. God damn it. Midtown Doug.
Well, I didn't mean to. I had a Randy. A slip of the tongue.
I've never called Doug Dung.
No, but you misspeak a lot of words.
What is wrong with you? Are you having a stroke?
Maybe.
Right before my eyes. So I checked this mess. This is the problem with online dating apps now, Doug Goodwin. They're all location based. They use your fucking smartphone, and they can like narrow down where you exist in this life.
Yeah.
So you can like go on plentyoftrash.com, POT, and you can click on a thing that says nearby, and it'll show people that are nearby.
Yeah.
So this voluptuous lass sends me this message, and I click on it, and it says, "You're 1 mile away."
That's all it says?
Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Stalker technology. I'm like, and that was like 45 minutes ago.
It's the Russians again.
Yeah. I'm like, refresh. You're a half mile away.
Uh-oh.
I'm right behind you.
No, it did not.
Yeah, I could have. You never know.
I do know.
Obviously, I didn't respond to that. That's a weird thing. You're 1 mile away. What am I going to bed you with your profile pic of you and your dumb daughter?
No.
Come on.
Now, did she write that, or was that something that the website wrote for you?
Oh, the website writes things for you.
Well, I mean, like, you're 1 mile away from your destination,
Oh, I see what you're doing
like
there
Google
with
Maps does.
Your dumb little...
So she actually had to write it.
She actually had to type, you're 1 mile away.
And you never responded?
No, why would I? Okay, honey, stay there. Like, what am I supposed to...
I'm on my way.
I'm on my way, dear.
I'm getting in the truck.
Yeah. Any girl that's...
And this is on POT?
Yes. Any girl that sends you a message that says you're 1 mile away, you don't want to fuck with her because either A, you're going to get stabbed in the heart, B, you're going to get beat up by her boyfriend, or C, you're going to get all the diseases. And you don't want none of those.
Did you hear about Louis C.K. giving that lady an STD?
Oh, my God. How do you give a woman an STD when you whack off in front of them?
That's funny because they were talking about it on the Anthony Cumia show, and Dave said, "Yeah, see,
your best friend Dave Landau.
He was just helping out those girls. He was like, let me do this so I don't hurt you."
What are you, an Anthony Cumia fan there all of a sudden?
Oh, yeah, listen to it all the time.
All the time.
Yeah.
With your friend and mentor on there.
Sure. Conversation killer, Tommy Thompson.
Well, that's what you do. That is what you do.
That's our transitions. This is when Tommy tries to take over a topic.
Yeah.
I thought you were taking this Dave Landau thing somewhere.
No.
Randy don't help me out when I say things.
Don't trust him to take anything anywhere. Like if I shut up, he gets real scared. His eyes well up with tears. You have no idea what to do. It's a sad thing.
Oh, whatever.
It's called a Segway, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's called a Segway. It's
I'm
one of those
getting
things you
excited that we
ride
might be
with
done.
2 years. What?
When you shut up, I'm like, oh my God, it's almost over. I can go home.
Do you hear how he thinks about you, Doug Goodwin?
No, this is great.
How dare you? He's your beloved fan for all the years, and you're like, oh.
No. This is good.
Tommy, you're going to
Look at
be
this treatment.
Tommy, you're going to be in Saginaw, Michigan, USA on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
You're real excited about this.
Yeah. I should be. Yeah.
You should be, but you're not.
Well,
you're nervous.
Well, no.
Are you scared?
I mean, it'd be about 2,000 people. So
2,000 people that you're going to pass out miserable retail slave stickers to.
What?
Yeah, you're
I'm definitely selling my stickers in T-shirts now.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
You going to pass out miserable retail slave stickers?
I don't know. Maybe if I can find them.
You mean the T-shirts don't say "as seen and heard on Miserable Retail Slave"?
Right.
What a missed opportunity.
They'd be worth about as much as those things in the fucking stores that say "as seen on TV."
Doug, can I talk to you for a minute?
microphones.
This is the thing about this Tommy over here. He doesn't realize, despite the fact that every comedian in America has a podcast, that he can use the podcast as a means to promote himself. He doesn't understand this, and the fact that he has a podcast before most comedians, he doesn't get that either. He doesn't understand how he can use the podcast as a platform to better himself. He doesn't get it whatsoever. He refuses to promote the podcast. He hates the podcast. He hates you, Doug Goodwin. And by extension, he hates your wife. How do you feel about that? You hate the whole good... Yeah, it is fighting words. He hates the whole Goodwin family, is what he's telling me right now. How dare you, sir? How dare you?
Let's go talk about me being at the Dow Event
Well,
Center.
go
I
ahead.
like that. Yeah. The Brouhaha, the 8th annual.
Well, use a little energy and actually talk about it if you're
Well,
going.
Friday night I'll be up in the Bad Axe.
Nobody
machine.
cares about that.
Yeah.
Talk about your thousands.
Yeah, the Dow Event Center. It's a big deal. It's a big theater, and holds 2,300 people. So it's a craft.
Is this the biggest room you played, Tommy?
Oh yeah, by far. I think before this would probably be like 300. So yeah, this will be the big one, and hopefully, sell a lot of merch and make a lot of friends. Yeah.
Is Randy working your merch booth?
No, Randy's not invited. No, he can buy a ticket. Yeah, they're $40. Go ahead, Randy.
I like how you consistently shit on me. Like, amongst your friends, who is the one that constantly supports you more than anyone else?
Oh, you're not my friend. You're my colleague.
Okay. Amongst your colleagues, who...
Okay, Randy, yes, you are very supportive. You're a very supportive friend.
So why don't you ever support me? That's the issue.
Okay.
Be the mediator, Doug. Tell me.
Well, now I got to rewrite my whole set.
Yeah, that's right. You do. Goddamn.
Catch me on the Miserable Retail Slave podcast, huh?
Oh,
You should just interrupt it every 5 minutes. Like
yeah.
Hulu.
You will never say that on stage. I don't expect you
I've
to.
had people say that as my intro.
I would like you to just pass out the fucking stickers. I will find more stickers and give them to you tonight if you pass them out for free
Okay.
as a person.
The problem is that I don't want to I don't want to have them. I don't want to give away something when I'm selling something.
Oh my!
Because then they're going to
FG.
take the free ones, and I'm not going to have anything.
When you sell a goddamn product, you give them a free goddamn sticker. How hard is that?
Okay, that could work.
Oh, I hate you. I hate you.
I see what you're saying.
Ugh.
I see what you're saying.
Ugh. Oh, look at the time. Look at the time, would you? It's time to take a quick short little break. Time flies when you're having Doug, you know? You're listening to MRS, the Mystical Raging Sasquatch Show. When we come back, Doug Goodwin is going to armchair produce. He's got a whole bunch of show notes, believe it or not.
Okay, cool.
And we're going to dive into that, I hope. We'll be right back.
There's nothing more refreshing than tuning into the Miserable Retail Slave podcast. Well, except for a heckler at one of Fat Tommy's wannabe comedy shows. Have you ever seen Tommy? He's a mixture of cow shit, a millennial, and a hipster, all thrown into a burlap sack, mixed up to make his bubble fat fucking slob ass. Fuck that guy. Anyways, back to the task at hand. Hyping the Miserable Retail Slave podcast. Listen to this show. Trust me, it's that good. Even the Tommy part. So don't sit around like a fat-ass Tommy. Just listen to this great and original material that these guys put out. Trust me, I endorse this podcast 100%. This is your neighborhood hype man. Over and out, let me tell you.
Boost no joke. Fuck, I get what haters say. All I did was stay the same. Cut to fat, came to rage. Cut to black on the crazy train. In, wheels off. My dope in, let my scalp peeled off. Skills saw with the pen, I'm raw. Don't doubt D-boy, y'all gon' learn about that boy, he go hard. Ben Wallace, 10 haters got 10 Wallace. I came broken, I left ballin', that's no joking. That's George calling, I'm here. Ain't that a fact? Lil' Pip boy, I kick it like Pack-a-Lack. We the rap pack, you a pack of rats. Get tracked in the crack like, oh, I snap. Kush packs, cracker packs. Blowing up to the track collapse. With a white girl with the fattest ass. We break that ice, you catch your bash, yeah, fish in the barrel. Hood hippie apparel. See me on the beat like Christmas and Christians with carols. And it's the radical, tactical, magical, sagittal, suture splitter. Future spitter, boo. Here's a cheers to new beginnings. Boo the Ripper, yeah. He who do it different than you. Who is this ludicrous rhymer spitting? Is written so smooth. When I seen some hustle money, yeah. I've been ballin', getting buckets in the hood, homie. Say what you would about it. I know you thought you could, motherfucker, but you ain't cut like that. You's a bitch like that. You ain't from my cloth. Put the city on my back. Put that city on the map. You in my city making that whack shit. That's what the facts here. Man up and face them out went crazy on some hippie shit.
Welcome back to the Sausage House. Everybody doing? Just okay. Do us all a great big favor. Tell all your goddamn friends to listen, for Christ's sake.
Right?
Would you?
Sure.
Tell all your best friends, your hated enemies, listen to this garbage. Follow me on Instagram, because that's where I'm doing all my damage these days.
Yeah.
I've picked up so many followers lately. I'm really impressed with myself.
Good for you, Randy.
Search the hashtag Miserable Retail Slave on Instagram.
Okay.
Best way to find me. Also, Twitter, I'm there too. Search that hashtag Miserable Retail Slave, and search Miserable Retail Slave on the goddamn Facebook. Join our Facebook group. Would you, could you, would you please? Should you?
Sure.
Should you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Armchair Producer Doug Goodwin is here with us. What a treat. He's at Pretentious Vinyl on the Instagram. How you doing,
That's right.
Douglas?
I'm great. Glad to join you guys tonight. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. It can
Fun.
be. It
I
can
like
be.
that. It can be once in a while.
Yeah.
Dikembe Mutombo.
Is that is he on the Atlanta Hawks?
You're on the Atlanta Hawks. How dare you? We do have a miserable hotline. It's 810-328-3826. You can leave your feedback. Ask us questions, for crying out loud.
Sure.
Feedback, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. It's open rain.
It is open rain. Mm-hmm. And it just so happens we have a message on the miserable hotline.
No shit.
And it just so happens it's not for me. Oh, no. It's not for you. It happens to be aimed squarely at this Doug Goodwin here.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
How about that? You're a famous boy now.
Yeah.
What a great thing for you.
Tell me it's Funnel Cloud Charles.
Oh, it most certainly is Funnel Cloud Charles.
All right.
Now we're cooking.
Now we are cooking. So I'm going to play this right now.
Hey guys, it's Charles.
And he's definitely in a funnel cloud again. I don't know how this happens, but he's definitely right in the center of a cyclone.
Glad to hear you guys. I got a question for Doug, actually. The Armchair Producer. What other podcasts have you listened to other than you guys? All right, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.
Fantastic question.
Yeah. What other podcast? There are other podcasts? I didn't even know.
What's a podcast?
What's a podcast?
I thought I spent most of my time listening to the old episodes again and again. You know,
Yes, maybe that's what
Absolutely.
Funnel Cloud Charles is getting at. It's like if he listened to other ones, he would not continue to be listening to this.
How dare you, sir?
It's like, there's better ones out there.
Douglas?
to the answer, I listen to several of different kinds, and in the comedy realm, I love Doug Benson. He does a couple of podcasts. He does Doug Loves Movies, Getting Doug with High. Both of those are awesome. I listen to the Majority Report.
I like
and Bill Maher.
I like how this Goodwin listens to podcasts featuring Doug's.
Yeah.
What an ego.
Those are his favorite
Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Anything with a Doug.
We just said Bill Maher.
Oh.
Yeah.
His middle name is
I already
Yeah,
broke it.
William Douglas.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm an ass. I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, quite all right. I listen to Space Pigeon Radio is a podcast that needs to take place more often. It's some guys down here in Georgia, really absurdist humor stuff, and it's a lot of fun. And I listen to Waking Up with Sam Harris. He's the neuroscientist who does a lot of different interviews on culture and politics and science.
I think I'd like that. I think if I wasn't a comedian, I'd be a neuropsychologist.
What podcasts are you listening to these days, Tommy?
I listen to the Burtcast a lot.
Tommy's never listened to a podcast before this year.
Yeah,
He's
that's
finally
very true.
started.
That's very true.
He's had a podcast for all these decades. and-
For a couple years, I've been listening to Jim Harold's Campfire. Which is the Ghost Stories one.
Yeah.
I listen to the Burtcast a lot. WTF. I just listened to Joey Diaz's one for the first time today.
Joey Coco Diaz.
Yeah, what's his called? I can't remember.
I don't know. I know
Sometimes I listen to Your Mama's House. I listen to Shane Moss's Here We Are podcast. So I don't know.
Oh.
I just flip through quite a bit.
Yeah.
I listen to this one sometimes.
You actually listened to it a few weeks ago, and
Yeah,
I was
I did.
surprised. You were like, "Oh, that was a good episode." I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm like,
"Oh,
oh."
that's weird."
We don't sound any dumber than any other podcast, so
Right.
that was surprising.
Yeah.
What's the worst podcast you've listened to?
Oh,
Oh
Jesus.
man. Oh God.
Can you pick one out?
Everybody likes Lore, and I don't like the guy's voice. Have you listened to Lore?
I don't like audio, not audio dramas. I don't like overly produced.
And that's kind of how
Podcasts.
Lore is. Have you listened
Yeah.
to Lore? Have you
Yeah.
listened to Lore, Doug?
No, I've not tried Lore yet.
It's cool because it's ghost stories, but he's very dramatic about his voice. And I don't know. I just don't get it.
Any podcast that is like super, I'm totally reading from a script and I'm trying to do 18 different takes of me reading the same line, I don't like whatsoever.
I don't like a lot of people on the same podcast. I mean, 3 is good, but once they get like 4 or 5, I can't tell who's who.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And I start getting annoyed. That's why I can't listen to Your Mama's House very much, because they always have like 4 or 5 people on there. And it's funnier when it's just Tom and Christina. But what about you, Doug? What's the one that you hate?
I've had several that I've tried 2 or 3 episodes and just couldn't stand it. I didn't like Serial. I mean, I know everybody loves the hell out of that, but it's got that overproduction, stretch out too many episodes type factor. And then, there's several political podcasts I've tried and then just trashed because they're junk. But there's lots of comedians that try it and just they have no presence, no real funny stuff. So
Nice.
you got to grab me quick
Yeah. So we grabbed you, huh? We grabbed you by the pussy.
somehow.
That's cool. Somehow.
That's definitely one of my pet peeves is when somebody doesn't have energy on a goddamn podcast. When you don't even fucking try
like when
to
I start
show
yawning.
up. Well, I mean, but you actually, I mean, you try to participate.
Yeah.
You do yawn into the microphone quite a bit,
Right.
but
Yeah.
asshole.
Joe Rogan Experience is good too. I like that. Of course, that's like the #1 podcast. That and WTF, right?
Well, Joe is like far and away number. Joe is like a difference maker. If you're on Joe Rogan and you're like a musician, you'll sell like 150,000 more copies of whatever.
Yeah, and Mr. Dave Lando just got mentioned on the Joe Rogan podcast. Mm-hmm. So,
do you think it's that built-in UFC audience that has gotten him that reach? Because I've listened to the show and it's I like his guests better than I like Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very hit or miss. Like I don't listen to every episode. I'll listen to if he's got a interesting. Well,
yeah,
what I
haven't
think is
listened to it a lot either.
Yeah, what I think is an interesting guest, I'll listen to it, and you know if I feel like him and Kevin Smith together are golden.
Are they? See, that's why I like the Burtcast because I just love Burt Kreischer, and I think I like his podcast way more than I like his stand-up. So I don't know. I can listen to Burt Kreischer's podcast, and I don't care who's on there.
Doug Goodwin, you had some things you had to produce for us. Like, go ahead, let it go.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd start out and say, what's your favorite song to drive fast to? What do you want to hit the pedal and move to? And I've got a follow-up with this that'll be kind of fun.
Go ahead, Randy.
Okay, so I have a specific band.
God.
Currently, God.
Trapped.
No, it's not. It's actually Slipknot. Like any Slipknot song I hear, I just go fucking apeshit for. And currently, All Out Life is
Wait and Bleed, huh?
Wait and Bleed, yeah, definitely. But currently, their latest single, All Out Life, is my
They're
fucking
still around?
jam.
I didn't know. Didn't two of them die?
What?
One of them died for sure.
As long as the lead singer is there.
Oh, Corey Taylor, whatever.
He's awesome. Him and that band and Stone Sour is amazing.
Yeah, and Joey Jordison isn't the drummer anymore.
Okay. What's that?
You don't know who's behind the mask anyway.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
Apparently, I do.
Yeah, ooh. I could keep tabs. I have a Slipknot chart, and I cross out names and add them
I
in.
saw them at Ozfest. It was 99, I think. Or
oh, my
2000.
God. That was when they first broke out.
They were on the small stage.
Sure.
Yeah, and we went over. Somebody said, like, you guys got to go watch these guys in clown masks. They're
you
crazy.
at Ozfest blows my mind, by the way.
So I waddled my fat ass over there.
Yeah, you did. Oh.
They threw the sticks out and they hit some kid and it cracked him and his head was bleeding, so they put him on stage.
Excellent.
Yeah.
When you were at Ozfest, did you see Ozzy?
I don't know if it was that year or not, though, because he didn't do every year.
Okay.
I think I did see him that year. Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely Slipknot. I go ape shit for any Slipknot song.
What about you, Doug?
No,
mine's Go With the Flow by Queens of the Stone Age.
that's
a hell of a one to hit the gas to. Yeah. How about you, Tommy?
I'm gonna say "Running on Empty" by Jackson Browne. I don't know what it is about that.
What
song,
a weirdo!
It just I don't know.
Nobody knows what a Jackson Browne even is.
I bet you Doug knows the song.
I do know that song.
See, Randy, aren't you stupid?
You know what I heard on the way back home from the retail paradise that gainfully employs me?
Randy, we don't know.
I'm going to tell you. I'm No Angel by the Greg Allman Band. I'm like, that's a fucking jam right there.
Let me show you my tattoo.
I'm no angel. I'm like, what are you trying to sound like the Springsteen right there? Is that what you're trying to rip off?
Come on, baby.
Yeah. I love it, though.
Let me show you my tattoo. Let me drive you crazy.
Is that how you got the beloved? You're like, let me show you my tattoos. And she's like, oh, garlic. I'm allergic. Tommy has garlic on his tip, by the way.
On my chest.
Anyways, go ahead, Doug.
So my question leads into this story that I read, dated last week. A man was pulled over by cops in Manitoba, Canada for speeding. He was driving over 90 miles an hour, and his excuse that "Kickstart My Heart" by Motley Crue had just come on the radio.
That's a good one.
And he was fined approximately $481 Canadian for "Kickstart My Heart." So, but
that's a good one.
Yeah, if you're gonna go hard.
Skydive naked from an aeroplane.
I bet he was air drumming and everything.
Oh yeah,
he had to have been.
Every time I hear that song, I think of Ricky Bobby.
Right. And he's kicking that bass drum. I could see me getting a speeding ticket to that song.
$481 later, it might not be my favorite anymore.
Yeah, I only had to pay $120 when I got my ticket, but I just
got
had
off
to pay
light.
$40 for the driving school to get the points up.
I feel like Motley Crue is a shit band. Am I all right in saying that?
Yeah, well, they're very shitty people. Have you read that book,
Well,
The Dirt?
No.
They did some crazy fucked up shit to people. Like
They're
fans.
awful.
Yeah,
They're awful.
yeah, like bad stuff. Like if it came out this year, they would, they'd be wiped from the earth probably.
This year.
Right.
Well, if you've never read the story, look up Nikki Sixx and his brush with death and heroin.
Yeah.
It's crazy shit.
Is that when they find him in the middle of the ocean or whatever?
No, they found him I think in a hotel room, and he had.
He walked through the glass door, right?
I think so. Yeah, he was totally whacked, and he'd shot himself all full of heroin. It's messed up.
In the middle of the ocean.
There's another story where he wakes up.
Yeah, where'd that come from?
Was he carried away by a Little Mermaid and some tortoises?
He was all fucked up, and they were like somewhere in Florida, and
he's just floating in the
and
Pacific.
he wakes
Atlantic.
up, and he's like he can barely see a little dot, which he thinks was his hotel room. Yeah. Yeah, and he thought he was dead.
All right.
Yeah. And I think that might be tied into that because I think that's when he walked through the glass door because he thought he was dead. But
Interesting.
yeah, if you read that book, it's disgusting. They do some really bad stuff to women that wanted to go backstage.
Can you still hear us, Doug?
Yeah, I can still hear you. It's just a little fuzzy. I don't know why.
That's okay. It can be fuzzy as long as you hear us.
You sound like you just swallowed the pill in the Matrix.
I did. Whoa.
So we've got. We cannot let this episode end without consider the three of us and our jobs and the tendencies we have. We've got to talk about the president's McDonald's spread
The hamburgers.
for the Clemson Tigers.
Oh my God! The Apprentice really went all out with that fast food there,
Very bigly, yeah.
very bigly, and he was very proud of himself. I would say.
Did you see the meme of him as the Hamburglar?
I did.
Which is great.
I saw a meme of him recently with his mouth wide open, like shouting something. And there was a side-by-side of Chucky from Child's Play with the same exact face. I'm like, that's perfect.
Oh, God. And the players were, they thought it was a complete joke. I couldn't imagine winning the national championship, showing up thinking you're going to get a nice steak and you get a cold fillet of fish.
Have as many as you want. He's a fucking idiot. Hamburgers. Is that what he wrote on his Twitter?
Hamburgers?
Yeah. You haven't seen that?
Yeah, sorry, I kind of dropped off. This thing's got a little bit of latency, which is probably why some of my responses may sound a little awkward.
No, you've been good.
Yeah.
When?
You're giving yourself an excuse, and they're like, that Doug Goodwin's weird.
Doug's the weirdest
It's the
boy.
technology.
Never put a listener on the air again.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I
Yeah.
think you're better than Randy.
I'm glad you're not weird. I was worried about him. Like, look at this guy's the weirdest guy.
I had no doubts.
I had no doubts. His name's not Doug Goodweird. It's Doug Goodwin. That's all he does is win.
Yeah. You didn't see the hamburger tweet?
Oh, God, that was great.
Yeah, they're saying it was like autocorrect or something, but he doesn't check anything, so it just said something about the hamburgers that he gave to Clemson. So everybody's
so
been
many hamburgers.
Yeah, everybody's been using hamburgers as a joke now.
I would love to be
And, of course, all the brands jump in on it. Burger King and all the hijacking of something stupid.
Oh, that's good. That's good marketing, though. Good on their part.
Yeah. I would love to be the assistant that was like, had to listen to this man with his dumb hair be like, go to all the fast food joints. These are college kids. They love the fast food joints.
Well, wasn't it just McDonald's?
I thought it was several. I thought it was like Wendy's and Burger King and everything.
Maybe. Do you know Doug?
Yeah, it was a full spread.
Okay.
I would love to talk to the person who had to go out and buy all that crap.
Absolutely.
What poor intern had to call the local DC McDonald's and say, I need 30 quarter pounders.
Yeah. They'd be like, are you sure, Mr. Go.
Go.
Are you sure? Go now.
Go now.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the
Stupid.
chopper.
Well, yeah, Clemson, they win the national. Maybe they. Why wouldn't you got it for Alabama or something? You know, give the second runner-up some fast food. Or the first runner-up, I guess.
Okay.
I'll get my words right.
Your logic is wrong, by the way.
It's never.
Doug, I feel like you completely avoided the question from earlier when I asked, now that I think about it, what was the worst online date you had in real life?
No, I was not avoiding that one at all. Just,
I think we talked about other things. Yeah.
Let's see. I went to I picked up the woman who I met her at a party on a Saturday night while I was highly intoxicated. So I show up.
But you met her on online dating beforehand?
No, this is where we met at. I think I'm conflating two different people.
Conflating.
Yeah. See, how's that for a A+ word? No, the online date that went bad was showed up, and the woman was completely clammed up, and so every time I would try to drag out the conversation, just nothing, and so it was just downing glasses of beer and trying to get it over with as quick as possible.
Oh, she got the ribs.
Yeah, she dropped the chicken. Tell us about the party date, though.
Yeah, yeah.
That one's more interesting. That's where I met the woman on a Saturday night, and while we were intoxicated, we hit it off. It was a lot of fun. So at some point, we had exchanged numbers and made a date for the next week. Show up, and while we were sober, we did not get along in any way, shape, or form. So we were at Dave & Buster's. It's one of those. Do you have those up in Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're at Dave & Buster's and trying to get through a meal, and so I'm thinking, okay, well maybe we can go play some games and it'll loosen up and this will be more fun. Nope, it just got way more awkward. I dropped her off before 8:00 and went and met a bunch of my friends afterwards.
You dropped her off before you got drunk and had fun with her.
Right? Yeah.
There was no more fun to be had after the Dave & Buster's.
I feel like Dave & Buster's would be a decent first date if she's into gaming. Yeah.
What's your worst date, Randy? Now that we're on the.
Oh God, my worst. I think I've talked about my worst date. It was definitely with Laura on the when I got the ribs. That was
got the ribs.
You believe it or not, people. When I have dates, they're usually not awful, but that was definitely. Even I knew when it was happening. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? What is happening?
I'm gonna get the sloppiest thing I can think of.
Yeah.
I think I told my worst date story on here about the girl that told me about how her fiance died. She started crying.
It was a long time ago. But I swore the worst date you ever had was milking the cows, but that's even better.
Crazy Katie?
Yeah, I forgot about that. She started crying
Katie.
about. Didn't you get up and leave while she cried?
Yep. Well, there was this. I worked with her aunt or her sister-in-law or something, and she kept coming into the grocery store, and she's like, Jen, I think her name was Jen. Mm-hmm. Jen wants to date you, and I was just like, no, I just wasn't interested. I mean, it just wasn't there. There wasn't. Finally, they said, well, we're going to the machine shop on Halloween, and we have 2 free tickets, so you can bring a friend. So I took Abe Falcon, and we got hammered, and I agreed to go on a date with the girl like a couple days later or whatever, and we went to this diner, and she's like, this is my favorite restaurant, and they had like styrofoam plates.
Oh, my God.
And like the waitress is missing teeth, and she's like, this is my favorite waitress, blah, blah, blah. And we just start talking, and then she starts crying about like how her fiance got into this rollover accident, and she saw his head get decapitated. And, yeah, and she's bawling, and I didn't know what to do, so I just got up and walked out, and she was just crying in the booth.
I mean, that's a lot to dump on a guy on a first date.
I didn't know what was going on, so I just left.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, her head was literally in her hands, so I was just like, all right, see ya.
Your copay will be $30.
Right. You're getting the tab, right? I'm out of here.
Her head was in her hands because her fiance's head was on the cement.
God. I remember telling that story, and I actually knew one of the first responders, and I didn't know it until I was telling the story at a party like a year later. The guy was like, dude, was that on I-69? I was like, yeah, she said that. He's like, yeah, I showed up to that.
Damn.
Yeah, he saw the head, too.
I specifically remember being on that date with Laura, and, like, there was a wait before we had to sit down, before we could get a table. I'm like, oh, no, that's no good. Like, I wanted
you gotta
a table.
talk to this person.
No, I was like,
here.
I want a table. That's more. So we went to the bar, and I'm like, you got to say something interesting, and I just couldn't.
Is that what you told her?
No, I mean, I feel like she knew. Obviously,
she wanted to get away as soon as she saw your New Balances.
I don't have New Balances. Thank you very much.
Skechers.
God damn it.
Reeboks.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Socks.
Nowadays, those are just as bad.
The pump.
Yeah.
Why do you keep showing me your tummy, Tommy?
Oh, you want to see it?
No, I don't. For
It's getting
crying out
big.
loud. It's getting big. What else you got for us, Douglas?
Well, I was wanted to talk about the Atlanta TV show. Have you guys watched that on FXX?
It's one of my favorite TV shows, by
I'm
the
not
way.
familiar with it.
With Donald Glover.
I know who that is.
Is that what life in Atlanta is really like? Do you eat chicken and waffles a lot, Doug?
That's what I wanted to talk about is the differences between reality and the Atlanta show. And chicken and waffles are real. That is not a fake thing. We do that down here.
It sounds good.
We have, in fact, until she sued her family member, Gladys Knight had her own chicken and waffles joint right here in.
Was it called Pips?
Pips Chicken.
It should be. The midnight train to Georgia Chicken.
Midnight train to indigestion.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, growing up, everyone that I talked to outside of the South thought that it's basically rap videos surrounded by the Dukes of Hazzard. So it's
not.
That was the general thought, and it's not terribly far off.
That and traffic.
But yeah, so with the Donald Glover show, you would think that everything around here is dark and sweaty, and everybody's smoking weed. It's
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
It's really an odd depiction of the city. So I'm curious what people outside of here think of it.
Well, it's kind of a surrealist comedy, so I didn't really think, well, that's what it's like,
I've never seen it. I don't.
Oh,
have
you should. I think
I have FX. Well, no, I don't. But I've.
You have the internet. Find
Yeah.
it. God.
What's that?
What's that?
On my flip phone.
Can I use my modem to dial in?
Type in FXX.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows, actually. I love it a lot.
What's the premise?
It's basically this Donald Glover's character is this. He's kind of down and out, and he's trying to be a manager for his friend's rap career.
Oh, so it is rap. Okay.
So it's weird how it ends up kind of looping back to the quasi stereotype of Atlanta.
It's actually his cousin, by the way, Doug.
Oh.
I can't keep up with all these things.
Yeah. It's his cousin Paperboy.
Oh, that's the rap guy's name?
Yeah, he's got like one song, and it's kind of hitting it big, and local DJs are playing it. And
nice.
Donald Glover's kind of a fuck up, and he kind of gloms onto Paperboy.
What's the name of the show?
Atlanta, Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's just called Atlanta,
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay,
Atlanta, Jesus Christ. How do you feel about the Dukes of Hazzard and the Confederate flag being censored off that?
I didn't know it was censored. Is it censored off of new episodes or reruns of the old ones?
I don't think they have reruns.
they just censored.
Yeah, it was a big deal because everybody's sensitive about everything. Like I saw a model car of the General Lee at a store. Like when I was a kid, the General Lee was my fucking jam. I loved that show because that was the coolest car.
Yeah,
there was
a good old boy.
There was a dude in my neighborhood that had a car that looked exactly like that. And it was the best thing when it went driving by.
Orange Charger.
So I saw this model recently, within the last 6 months, at the store. The fucking flag was censored off it. I'm like, that's not even the General Lee.
It's just like a glove.
It's just no, it wasn't even on there. It's just an orange car. I'm like,
did it have the
Dukes of Hazzard logo? Yeah.
Did it say 01 on it? Like 01?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But
that's not even the proper car at all. That's not even right.
Do you still have Confederate flags in Georgia?
Unfortunately, there are in some places. We fought enough to get it taken off of the flag, but there's still some rednecks out there who wave it and do their Southern pride thing. So
yeah, they do that up here too.
They do that up here too.
Oh yeah. So, believe me, I watch NASCAR. There's you'll get 2 races a year up there.
Yeah.
Stuart Huff lives in Atlanta. Have you seen Stuart? He's a comedian. He's very smart. He's really good. You should go see him. But he talks.
I'll add him to the list.
Yeah, he's great. But he talks about rednecks are everywhere. He has a big long bit about it, and it's so true.
So what's the difference? Can you tell the difference between a northern redneck and a southern redneck? Is there any line of demarcation?
I mean, the multicolored flannels and with the sleeves cut off and.
No, I think northern rednecks aspire to be like southern rednecks.
Yeah, for sure. They totally take on the persona.
Yeah, they're one and the same, actually.
Yeah.
I hate to be a stereotype for rednecks, but they're all the same, those people.
Yeah, I think they just like grab a hold of the whole thing and just try to recreate it in their trailer park.
I feel like
usually.
once you edit off the Confederate flag on the General Lee, though, you're being a fucking idiot. Like, come on, seriously.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference in leaving it on something like that where it's cultural and letting it stay, in public places. And
I agree.
That's where, Southern. There's a lot of change in that culture down here, thankfully.
Good for you. And you steamrolled that a little bit.
Just the state did it. I think about 20 years ago. So it's it's very modern. We're getting the Super Bowl in a few weeks, so
I didn't.
We would not have those kinds of events if it was backwards. Thankfully.
Yeah, Maroon 5 is getting some heat for agreeing to do it.
Why?
Because nobody wants to do it this year. Everybody's turning it down because it's they didn't support Colin Kaepernick.
Oh my God!
So there was a big thing, and I don't know, one of the stupid TV shows.
Can I just go on a rant right now? How I hate everybody and everything. Like, my God, people, you fucking bitch about goddamn everything. Why don't you worry about your own goddamn lives?
Well, some people don't find their lives that interesting, and I think
obviously,
that's the problem.
If you're so worry free that you got to invent fucking problems and stresses in your life, I wish I had your goddamn
Honey
life.
Boo Boo isn't on TV anymore.
For
People
Christ's
don't know what
sake,
to do.
all you millennials right now, by the fucking way, that are bitching about Seinfeld being the worst show ever.
Really? There's a big thing about that?
Oh my God, it's been all over the news and on BuzzFeed because that's where all the hot teens go. They go on that BuzzFeed
Did
to
you
get
say
their latest.
hot teens?
Yeah, that's
God.
right.
Uncle, stop.
Have you seen this, Doug?
I have. It's ridiculous.
They hate Seinfeld all of a sudden because the people in that show say things that are not appropriate for today's society.
Yeah.
That was the whole fucking point of the goddamn show. They were 4 awful people. That's why they were in jail at the end of the goddamn show.
They all went to jail? I didn't know that.
Oh, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous to look back at old things through a modern lens. It's just it doesn't help anybody.
Do you remember the gay episode? Nope. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Classic.
The Beloved would remember that.
Oh yeah,
Tommy's wife is a lot smarter and knows
she loves
Seinfeld.
Yeah. And I didn't like Jerry until I saw him live, and then I really
shut
liked
up.
him.
You're
so.
not adding anything to the conversation. But they're specifically attacking that episode. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because some girl thought Jerry and George were gay for each other, and they were like, "We're not." Not that there's anything wrong with that. That was the whole punchline of the show.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's a big deal. Like, what are you supposed to fucking? How is that a big deal? That was progressive at the time, believe it or not.
I wonder if they're gonna grab onto the vagina episode. I remember that one where Jerry can't say vagina.
Or the contest where they have a contest of who can hold out on masturbating the longest.
Yeah, that might be a problem nowadays.
Here's what really grinds my goddamn gears. All these millennials that hate Seinfeld so fucking much. It's just anti-PC. They love The Office, however. You go back and watch The Office. I've been rewatching The Office recently within the last 6 months. Oh, my God. It's a million times worse.
There's no way The Office would get greenlit in 2019.
No, Steve Carell is a bigot, idiotic, moron, buffoon. That, I mean, he's like, he's got a heart of gold, but he doesn't understand anything. And in the meantime, he's sexist, racist, misogynistic, etc. There's no way some of those jokes would land now. No way. I'm watching it with my mouth open, and it's a lot worse than goddamn Seinfeld. But
this is despicable, Randy says.
But my God, those millennials will eat that Office up on that Netflix.
Yeah, they do like it. It's pretty popular.
While they Netflix and chill, by the way.
Sure.
That's code for having sexual intercourse.
Yeah.
And double-clicking on Kylie Jenner.
Yeah.
Excuse me? With your double-clicking? Ew.
Yeah.
What's Doug?
Double tapping, double thumbing, whatever the hell you call it.
Double thumbing? You're making it worse. You're barely...
I know. I'm revealing my age in this conversation.
All right.
Well, did you guys see the news about Fire Festival having two competing documentaries on Hulu and Netflix? And I can report that I've watched one of them.
Fire Festival?
Yeah, what's that?
Okay, if you didn't hear about Fire Festival, this took place in 2017. This 25-year-old asshole trust fund kid decides that he's going to be this massive grifter, and he's going to throw this island festival and invite a bunch of Instagram models. So basically, his entire life is this big constant fraud. And so he basically books an entire festival, gets all of these high-profile celebrities to buy into it, and he doesn't even have the venue worked out. He has nothing paid for, but he's telling people like Blink-182 and Waka Flocka Flame are playing. And these documentaries that came out are basically showing this shitstorm as it happens, and these dumbass rich kids show up on the island, and there's FEMA tents everywhere, and all the bands dropped out because they didn't get paid. So it's a massive F up.
Oh, that sounds amazing. And they made a documentary on it?
There are two, and one is on each service. And what it ended up revealing is that one of the documentaries was made by the same group that helped produce the promotions for the festival. So it's a strange, weird tale. But if you like to have schadenfreude at dumb, rich millennials trying to get attention off of each other, it's a hoot.
Sounds good. It's the Fire Festival, huh?
Yeah, so watch. It's called Fire Fraud on Hulu, and I can't remember what the Netflix doc is called, but more millennial madness on that end.
That's the one thing I will give millennials credit for. They don't care if they look stupid. Like
they can't help it.
No, they'll take all the videos of themselves, all the pictures. I was at the mall last week at Barnes and Noble. Outside of Barnes and Noble, there was this 220-somethings. Of course, the girl was attractive, and there was a dude with a camera, just loving every minute of it.
Loving every minute.
And he was taking, like, rapid-fire pics. And, act funny, act blah, 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 I'm like, this is totally for her Instagram page. That's all it is.
You're right.
And she was smiling, then she acted goofy, and then she was like, I'm exasperated.
And she's like, can we get this weird guy out from behind me? All these pictures.
No, the best part was, as I was watching this dude walked by with his friend. He's like, that's why I need to get a camera.
You can take pictures of her, too.
Yeah.
Creepy.
That's how you get all the ladies now. You pretend you're a photographer
Sure.
and have some chops. Anyway, I mean, there's some talented photographers out there, but in order to take a picture of a person for Instagram, you don't have to be that great. You just don't. You can pretend.
Right.
You guys have already covered the everyone has a photography business. Good God.
Yeah. Abe Falcon said that years ago. He's like every stay-at-home mom is now a photographer.
Yeah,
which is
true.
the greatest thing because it's so true. It's like,
everyone got a digital camera for Christmas, and all of a sudden
I got no idea.
Fucking photojournalists.
Yeah.
All right, we got one last thing before we quit.
Uh-oh.
It's a new segment. It's called
Catfish of America. Whose voice is that?
It's our new segment.
Catfish of America. I like that.
I do too.
Yeah, I don't sound.
You need to shoot your shot.
Says Dr. Penrose.
Yeah.
You do.
I don't sound half bad. I like it.
This is Catfish of America. This is where I go on the World Wide Web, on the POT usually, that plentyoftrash.com, and I find these catfish that are clearly catfish.
Russian hackers.
Russian hackers. This is the first one. Headline, no games or drama. This is what she says. In quotations, she.
No games or drama, baby.
I like dangling out with friends.
Dangling?
Dangling?
No.
I like dangling out with friends in addition to family.
Isn't that what Forrest and Jenny did?
They dangled a little bit.
Hey, Vladimir, is there 2 G's in dangling or not?
That's what you're supposed to do on your wedding night. You dangle out your wedding tackle to catch that fish.
Oh.
You know, if you're a real Christian boy.
Listen to Randy with the wedding tips.
Yes. I remember your wedding. I was a few rooms down for you. I can report all about your wedding.
Really? I didn't know. Oh, yeah. I guess you did stay down at the hotel, didn't you?
I did with my date, and I heard you guys carrying. We woke up the next morning. She was like, "Is that Aaron and Tommy laughing?" I'm like,
"Oh, that's
it
hilarious."
might be.
Of course, we were laughing.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Yeah,
it's the marriage bliss.
Because Tommy tried to have sex with her on the wedding night, and she laughed. It was funny. I like dangling out with friends in addition to family, playing bowling. Actively playing mini golf, because you got to be active when you play that mini golf.
I like playing bowling. It's like fun.
Shopping, swimming, piece of art.
Oh,
gotta love that piece of art.
Yeah,
piece of art. Nice.
Smoking, listening to music, watching TV. I like to be able to have a great time outdoors and in the room. Shit. Oh, brown chicken, brown cow.
Which room?
Yeah. I really like Wait a minute. Sorry. I really like rock pop, hip pop. You like that hip hop?
Yeah.
HIP-POP.
All right.
Hip soda.
Metal. Is that with DOD? Yeah, you know me.
Metal rock, typically rock, and other types, and everything that offers a good rhythm.
Oh.
I like different genres inside movies and shows, yet mostly I love scary. I like to find someone who will care for me plus support me.
Oh.
A gold digger we got here.
At least she's honest.
We ain't messing with no broke. One day I wish to find someone who wants to get married plus have a family regarding ours.
Regarding ours?
That's a...
Oh. Did you message her?
I would like I like to dangle out with friends,
yeah,
you know, so I thought about it, you know.
Listen to the hip hop.
The hip pop.
Hip hop. The hip to the hip hop. You don't stop.
Headline, all women are good. By the way, her occupation, mysterious.
Oh.
That's what she listed.
That's nice.
Her name's...
Does she have 3 photos and they're all obscured?
No, they're only one.
Uh-oh.
And definitely her brows are well manicured and she's got prodigious boobies and she's not a person that exists. Well, she does exist. This person obviously exists, but she's not on the...
not who she says she is.
No. Her name's Peyton, this catfish.
Okay.
I love music, almost all types of music. L&B is our favorite. Our favorite? What's going on here?
She's already in a relationship.
Wait. How many voices are inside that head of yours there? That pretty head. My favorite shade is pink. Ooh. I appreciate watching Netflix and comforting on my days off. Netflix and comfort.
Yeah.
Hey, girl, you want to come over to Netflix and comfort with me?
She does. Peyton
She
does.
does. Peyton's all about. He's all about the Netflix and comfort.
Yeah.
I plan to move in typically the next 2 years. We want to see the world.
We again.
I work as
pregnant.
I work as an ICU nurse. I love the fall and going fourth wheeling.
Fourth wheeling.
It's kind of like fourth meal, but with wheels. You gotta slam down those tacos and enchiladas.
Sure.
While you wheel on the 4th. I'm not scared to get muddy. LOL. We love outdoor.
We again.
I will respond to messages that are perverted.
I will respond.
She will. Peyton's about it. Want to know other things? Feel free to ask.
Uh-oh.
God.
She's right up your alley.
Doug, is that my wife? Did I just beat her? Shit.
She's the one, Randy. Don't let her pass.
Yeah.
God, I wish.
Don't wait it out.
I wish she was the one she was the night chick at my work.
You got to shoot your shot.
I would totally hit on her.
Just make sure the email signature doesn't say Sergey.
I want to know, like, what slick line did you use to trap your wife in a relationship the first time?
It wasn't the first time, and I'm not good. I've never been good with lines, but I did tell her that she should dump her boyfriend and get with me. So I guess that's as close to slick as I can get.
That was the first time?
No, God, no. That was like after we had hung out several times while she was still dating somebody else.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like I'm leaving out details. It's all fuzzy.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, you don't remember. Yeah, I feel like you want to meet the one as young as possible because, like, you look at that old chick at the end of Titanic and she's like, oh, I'm still hung up on that boy that one time said he was the king of the world. Your father never said he was king of the world.
Oh, Rose.
Yeah. One last one about Amanda. I have got a lot of tats. I'm not necessarily done. I love printer ink.
She injects printer ink into her skin.
I love printer ink.
Oh.
I love music in all types. I like, in order to have fun, hunt fish. Camp, proceed mudding. Family time, Netflix, Hulu.
Netflix and comfort.
Horror movies, old horror. Not thin. If you're looking regarding that it's not me personally, I love printer ink.
She said it again?
Yeah, well, you got to.
You got to get that
If you really love printer ink, I mean, you got to own it. You got to own your printer ink love.
Who wrote that one? They got to fire that guy.
Jesus Christ.
She's hanging out behind the Office Depot, digging out the trash cans.
Right. Huffing the printer ink.
Oh, my goodness, Doug Goodwin. How do you feel about this? Did you have a great time?
I did. Thank you guys for having me aboard the ship.
Yeah, you should be on more often.
Yeah, we should have you on again in the next 7 years.
Hey, by episode 400, you'll be ready for another dose of me.
Yeah, probably. Approximately 400 episodes from now. Oh, wait. Oh, that would be 600.
Oh, what are we on? 1 something?
You're an idiot. Ugh. Thank you so much, Doug Goodwin, for being on and listening for all
Appreciate
these years.
Yeah. Had fun.
Follow him on the Instagram at Pretentious Vinyl.
Yeah.
Please, and thank you. That'll get you all of maybe 2 followers if you're lucky. That's some amount of dick weasling here.
Dangle.
Yeah. Oh, we did.
Yeah. Netflix and comfort. That's how we roll. Everyone else, tune in next week. We're going and follow along. Get all your friends to listen. Oh, shit. I forgot. Funnel Cloud Charles had a bunch of questions on the Instagram. I put it out on the Instagram, and he asked, like, when is Funnel Cloud Charles going to be on Miserable Retail Slave?
Oh, we should have him on. Yeah, for sure.
I think he needs to go through like 12 labors like Hercules. I think he needs to prove his worth.
Yeah.
So I think the first
Get out of the Funnel Club first.
Well, I mean, obviously, like we might have to go to him in order to ensure audio quality, and I don't want to go in the center of a whirlwind to do this.
Something's going on.
My God.
You can just add the twister and post.
Yeah, just the swirling Helen Hunt around us at all times.
God damn it, Joe.
But
Sorry, Twister reference.
Yeah.
Are you done, Doug?
I'm done.
You fanboy over there. Jesus Christ. Time flies when you're having Doug over here, you know?
You like that line.
I do. But I think our first labor of Charles should be he needs to get, like, I don't know, 50 people to listen to Miserable Retail Slave.
Make it impossible.
Get 50 people to listen and prove that they listen, and then we'll move on to the second labor
And
funnel
climb
cloud.
Kilimanjaro.
No, stop. Be realistic. You don't have to bless the reins.
Ooh.
You know? In the meantime, we'll have more details on live stream for The Cure 3. That's coming up in May.
Yeah.
Excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, I guess...
leave us a 5-star positive iTunes review.
Yeah, and all that stuff.
Join the Facebook group.
Search Miserable Retail Slave on the Instagram with the hashtag. Doug, you got anything to say?
No, just had fun with you guys, and hope we can keep listening for several more years, and I'm sure you'll be there.
All right. And you'll come back soon, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Anytime, guys. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye. We'll see you next time.